नीलाम्बुदश्यामलकोमलाङ्गम् सीता समारोपितवामभागम् पाणौ महासायकचारुचापम् नमामि रामं रघुवंशनाथम्। ओम श्री रामचंद्र स्वामिने नमः। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। As we have been seeing, we have a very nice, not too long introduction by Sri Adi Shankaracharya to this 6th chapter, Dhyana Yoga or Atma Sanyama Yoga. Please have the patience to look at a couple of more comments that Bhagavan Bhāshya, the great Advaita champion, makes, the comments that he makes before he takes up the verses of the 6th chapter. We have seen 3 paragraphs among the 5. We will see 2 more in this class, and probably we will read the first shloka in this session. In the 3 paragraphs that we saw, the issue that was raised was whether this Yogaruda, someone who had mounted the steed, the horse of yoga, ought to be a sannyasi, or that lady or man could be a grihastha. Adi Shankara is very emphatic. I do not personally think he is emphatic about some external marks of sannyasa, which also is preferred, but he is very emphatic on the internal letting go of all kinds of attachments and identifications. Sannyasa is a very pure mind. In Ramana Gita, the question is asked to Ramana Maharshi, what is sannyasa? And Maharshi Ramana says, Sannyaso nirmalam jnanam. If one knows, my being a man or woman, my being a Brahmin or Kshatriya, my being a Western or Eastern, my being an old man or young man, my being 100 such descriptions are all on the periphery. If one knows very well that one is actually the witnessing consciousness, that is nirmalam jnanam, that is sannyasa, says Maharshi Ramana. So let's not go to Ramana, leave Shankara behind. We get back to Shankara. Adi Shankara said in the 3rd paragraph in his introductory Bhāshya that the word tasyaiva in the shlokas to come, to him and him alone, or to her and her alone. The very person who at one time had attachments, at a later point, thanks to greater amount of study, greater amount of anushtana, all of us have to do it. By memorizing shlokas, we don't get vairagya, but by practices, by spiritual exercises, and by continuing the Vedanta Shravana, maybe not when we expect it to happen, but maybe when we don't expect it to happen, a certain insight dawns upon us, and without our planning, attachment drops away. I'm fond of saying that a powerful insight can happen to you when you are under the shower. It can, which may not happen when you are in an ashram listening to a lecture. But the lecture you listened to, the ashram, was never a waste. That had its own ripening process. Something works inside you. You heard the lecture maybe 3 days back or 3 years back. But this morning, while taking the shower, suddenly it occurs to you, oh, how foolish I am to cling to my gender or caste or position or some other qualification, etc. None of them belongs to us. I am indescribable. I cannot be put in any category, class. No one can pigeonhole me. This kind of insight may come to you when you are taking bath. Well, all of you, I'm sure, are very hopeful about your next bath. Uh, your next bath, as we say in Hindi, can be a body bath. So let us go to the fourth paragraph now. Yoga Vibrashta Vachanacha. The Siddhanti, the champion of the main school, says, towards the end of the sixth chapter, there is a reference to somebody who had gone quite a good distance, but then he dies, that is, bodily speaking. Then Arjuna asks a question: what happens to all the inner growth, all the inner rise when you and I do Shravana and Manana, when we do Anushtana? There is definitely a certain inner development. So that's a big topic by itself. Will all that inner development go to waste? Is the question, Arjuna's question. And Sri Krishna says no. And Shankaracharya says that also shows that there is a yoga time of mounting this horse, and then there is a yoga aruda. So there is a switching to another camp, that is from grahastha to sannyasa. Grahasthasya chet karmino yogo vihitah shashte adhyaye. If yoga was talked about in the context of grahastha only, shashte adhyaya, this is the chapter. Yoga brashtopi saha karmagatim karmaphalam prapnoti iti tasya nasha ashanka anupapanna syat. So, if the reference is to karma and karma only, then to say, Arjuna, don't worry, in your next life, whatever karma you had done will bear fruit. That won't be lost. That would be inappropriate. Anupapanna. In all these bhashyas, the word of upapanna and anupapanna comes a lot. Upapanna means appropriate, logically sound. Upapatti is logical soundness. Anupapanna means logically unsound. So you wonder, why is Shankaracharya saying this? He explains. As regards karma, you see, in all these discussions, grahastha and karma are connected together. Karma is synonymous with grahastha in these contexts. So, if Arjuna had meant only with regard to karma phala, and karma again is Agnihotra and so many other rituals, he says yoga brashta is not about karma and karma phala. You have done some Vedika karma, and because you died, whether you will get results of it in next life is not the question. The question is the spiritual growth will stay by you, or you have to start from scratch. So this is a very interesting insight here. Yoga Brashta is not about the results of karma accruing or not accruing to the seeker. Yoga Brashta is the doubt. Arjuna's doubt is about the spiritual growth. And in the present context, it seems to me that the matter is Vairagya. In a manner of saying, on a scale of 10, suppose you had gone up to 7 in this life. Next life, on the scale of Vairagya, not about karma and karma phala. So whether that level 7 will stay with you or you slip like the sliding frog, you have to start again from level 4. Sri Krishna assures that we will see later. So why not karma? And this, sometimes such portions give us a wonderful understanding of not just Vaidika karma. Most of us are not into Vaidika karma these days, but it gives insight into our Laukika karma. If we have helped people, if we have run an orphanage, if we have taught at a school of challenged children, if we have worked in slum areas, or why, anywhere, if we have done some Nishkama karma, as well as why Nishkama, even Sakama karma. Sakama karma has to give result. So, it is in one camp. What clarity we get is karma, sakama, nishkama, etc. having to yield fruit is in one camp. But the development of vairagya is in another camp altogether. So, as regards karma, Shankaracharya says, the question of yoga brashta doesn't apply. Avashyam hi kritam karma kamyam nityam va. Whether it is kamya, that is sakama, nityam va, mokshasya nityatvad anarabhyatve. Moksha is not something that comes as a result of karma. It is ever present. Therefore, it is not arabhya. Arabhya means what begins as a result of some karma. It is ever present, nitya siddha. So, as regards karma, the Shankara says, swam phalam arabhate eva. If you have done certain karma and that has not borne fruit in this life, in your next life it is guaranteed. Karma is avinashi in that domain. You transcend the domain, that's a different question. Nityasya cha karmanaha veda pramana avabuddhatvat phalena bhavitavyam yavochama. Bhavitavyam means karma will bear fruit. And Arjuna is not so ignorant. They were all astikas at that time. Today, a lot of Hindus don't know any of these things. But Arjuna, Pandavas knew very well that karma bears fruit in this life. And those karmas which don't bear fruit in this life will bear fruit in next life. There is no question of will it all be lost. About karma definitely giving its result in the next life, if it has not given result this life. No, not twice. Arjuna has no doubt. Because Veda has said, Veda pramana avabuddhatvat phalena bhavitavyam. Anyata Vedasya anarthakya prasangaditi. Otherwise, Vedas will become anarthaka. Nacha karmani sati uभयव vachanam arthavat. So once one has done certain karma, Arjuna's fear was, in this life, the man did not get the results. And next life, if he doesn't get, neither here nor there. Uभयव brashta. So that is impossible. Karmanaha vibramsha karana anupapatte. Again this anupapatti. Anupapatte. So some of these expressions, upapatte or karyatvat, karanatvat, etc. come very much with tvat. I might have said in an earlier class, I believe one brahmachari was listening to these bhashyas and did not understand anything. But he went on noticing that expression, Karyatvat, Shuklatvat, Krishnatvat, because it is white, because it is black, because it is the effect, because it is the cause. The Tvat comes there. And that he went on hearing. He understood the expression. One day while the class was going on, suddenly fans and lights turned off. The Guru got puzzled. What happened? He said. This Brahmachari got up and answered. Current lakatvat. Current lakatvat. Because there is no current. Then the Guru said, I thought you never understood Bhashyas. You seem to have understood Bhashyas. Anyway, that is the expressions, the Sanskrit structures. There also there was a little humor in one class. Now, this Purapakshi doesn't take it lying down. He says, Karma kritam ishvare sanyasya ityatah kartari karma phalam na arabate iti chet. Maybe because we are advised to offer our karma to God, ishvare sanyasya. And then, because we have offered to God, that karma may not bear fruit. Acharya Shankara, playing the role of Siddhanti now, says, no, the opposite happens. Na. Ishvare sanyasasya adhikatara phala hetutva bhavatte. Suppose you do some karma, Agnihotra, and certain result will come to you. Somehow it didn't come in this life. Next life, it will definitely come. And if you had offered it to God, then you will not only get the result, you will get some more benefits. God will give you more than what otherwise you would have got. To imagine that because you offered it to God, the results will not come anymore. God will take it away. Is not true. Probably it goes well with what happens when we offer some naivedyam to God. We get the naivedyam back, right? In addition, we also get Ishvara's grace in many other ways. No question of because we offered laddus to God, all of them vanished. Even if the priest takes one or two, they will enjoy. Nothing will be lost. So this is a little humorous to my eyes. Ishvare sanyasasya adhikatara phala hetutva upapatte. Phalam na arabate iti na. Phalam arabate adhikatara phalam arabate. That is said. Now Purapakshi takes out another arrow from his quiver. Mokshaya eva iti chet. Swakarmanam kritanam ishvare nyasaha mokshaya eva na phalantaraya yoga sahitaha. Maybe when a grahastha does karmas, those karmas, if the grahastha is desirous of moksha, they will be spent towards getting moksha for him and not any other phala. Yogacha vibrashtaha ityataha tam prati nasha ashanka yukta eva iti chet. So, because it got spent for moksha, maybe its results as imagined before would not come to the person. The Siddhanti says, no, all this false imagination has to be left, has to be given up. Coming to the central point, O opponent, O Purapakshi, please bear this in mind. In several shlokas in this coming chapter, it is made very clear that one has to let go of one's grahastha way of living. So I would add here, outwardly one may stay at home with spouse and children, but inwardly one has to let go. Some may actually in and out take sannyas. Others also, if one wants moksha, has to let go of attachments and identifications. When somebody is attached, something interesting happens. He is not only attached, he gets attached to the attachment. Somebody is attached to his son, let us say. He is attached to the son and enjoys his attachment with all pain also associated with it and prays once in a while, I love this boy, my son. May he and I be father and son for another 10 lives to come. So he is attached to the attachment. So all this is, from a higher point of view, foolishness. I must add from higher point of view, because Vedanta never looks down at life. Life has its charm on all levels. A mother, first time mother, let us say, is so happy about her child. The baby girl is born and she is so fond of the daughter. Vedanta doesn't say how foolish, how stupid, how idiotic. No, 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 no. Vedanta respects it. But if that young lady too, at this time or at a later time, becomes very keen on getting liberated from all sorrow forever, then Vedanta says, now if this is what you want, you have to let go of your idea. I am the mother of this beautiful little girl, this angel, and this angel and I have to be daughter and mother for another 10 lives. Those thoughts, you have to let go of those thoughts. You cannot stay in the dream also and also wake up. In the dream, you got, let us say, some beautiful fruit in hand. You can't say, I want to wake up with this fruit in hand. For the identity with the attachments and the realization of no identification at all, no identity at all, are not mixable. You cannot mix them. You cannot say 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. I will be a grahastha. 5 p.m. to next morning 9 a.m. I will be a sannyasi. That's not possible. You have to let go. How is it said? Shankara gives some examples. Ekaki yata chittatma nirashi raparigraha. Right when the 23 verses on meditation begin, the very first sloka, that is 6th chapter, verse 10, is Ekaki. You are alone on this path. No husband, no wife, no son, no daughter, and no companion. Inwardly, definitely. Outwardly, yes, a group meditation may be taken up. That's all different. But in the group meditation also, a moksharthi, suppose he is in a group meditation, should not have thoughts like, I feel so good to be in this group. God, please bless me that none of these gets liberated before I do. Because I like this group. मेरे मोक्ष होने के बाद ही, after I get liberated, let anything happen to them. Till then I want their company. अच्छा लगता है. You know, that is very against the understanding of Atmajnana. Atmajnana says there is no plurality at all. The idea of others and I itself is wrong. You have to let go that notion. There are others and then there is me. There is the notion. Some of them may get liberated before I do. I don't like that. It's so stupid. Nor is some pleasant feeling on another day. I am now convinced that of this group of 10, I am going to be liberated first. And I am way ahead of them. That's another stupid thought. Vedanta uncompromisingly says, the moment you think you are better than others, the moment you think you are behind others, there is sheer ignorance. There are no others. There is an erroneous thought, and then there is the vanishing of it. This erroneous thought has all these comparison, fear, insecurity. Will I get liberated in this life at all? I don't know. I'm getting older and older. I want to finish this project of liberation in this birth itself, because I have other projects to take up in next life. So the conditioned mind, the Bajari mind, the market mind, it goes in all these directions. So one has to let go of that. Sometimes in some glamorous context, even great saints talk like this. That is a little inspirational. Vivekananda said, I would like to be born again and again and serve humanity. I don't care for moksha, etc. All that is, that's called pep talk. All that is good in a certain context. We must appreciate the spirit of service there. There the matter ends. But the idea of I will born again, etc., Vivekananda himself would laugh at it later on. Maybe after the lecture, you meet him in the private room. Did you really want to be born again and again? He may himself laugh at it. I spoke like that to this audience. And really speaking, who is to be born? Who is born? Nobody is born at all. Swami Vivekananda was very clear about Advaita Vedanta. But in his lectures, he spoke from many angles of view for the benefit of his audience. Brahmachari vrate stitaha, the 14th shloka. Iti karma sannyasa vidhanat. You have the expression in English language, right? To have the cake and eat it too. Purapakshi is wanting to have the cake and eat it too. You can't. Either you have the cake or you eat it. Somebody argues, what if we get two cakes? One I eat and one I keep in the fridge. This is what I call twisting the context, distorting the drishtanta. Do not add some other dimension to drishtanta and kill the spirit. The context is there is one small cake. Eat it or you keep it, right? Plus as rope and snake, there is a certain context. Do not say, what if it's a real snake? And so on. Those are other contexts that we will handle separately. There is a rope being misunderstood as the snake. Likewise, there is a certain truth about you, but you have mistaken yourself to be this personality. There are my trends. Don't stretch the example, bringing all kinds of, to see a snake on the rope, you must have seen a real snake somewhere else. Therefore, is this world is unreal according to your philosophy. There must have been another real world, and the memory of it is disturbing you now, and so on. You are so confused and you are not getting the sense of the teacher's thought development. The teacher has something better to teach you than the rope and snake, but he uses that illustration in a certain context. He doesn't literally mean that the idea of I am this personality uh, is literally memory of you are actually being a personality at another time. Another time, maybe you are the body and that memory is coming. It's all stretching the example way beyond what is permissible. Brahmachari vrate stitaha iti karma sannyasa vidhanat. Vedanta, let me say once more, doesn't blame you if at one time you were very attached to spouse, children, you enjoyed pleasures, you enjoyed money, you enjoyed travel, you went around the world and you are so excited. It's fine, it's fine. That was a phase. But without wasting any energy on, oh, why I wasted my life in this way or that way, just let at this moment inquire. Inquire with intensity. Who am I? Don't say, how foolish I was in 2018. In fact, one day I was reading Vedanta and I felt like eating ice cream. I kept Geetā and went to the ice cream parlor. And I want to confess, I took a second one and a third one, and so on. You become emotional. You are eating three ice creams that night was not problem. You are crying now is the problem. Don't cry now. Be in the present. It's all okay. Vedanta never looks down at things that have gone by. What has gone by is gone by. Now do karma sannyasa. Nacha atra dhyana kale stri sahayatva ashanka. In the context of a man, it's not said here that meditate with your wife on the left side or right side. With the context of a lady, it would be, it's not said you need to have, a husband by your side. So dhyana kale purusha sahayatva ashanka api. Ashanka means a doubt with regard to that. How do you say that? Yena ekakitvam vidhiyate. Ekaki. Oh. Yena ekakitvam vidhiyate. Ekakitva is what Gita is prescribing for the yoga ruda. Yoga ruda or someone almost there. Then last line of this paragraph is Nacha grahastasya nirashira parigraha ityadi vachanam anukulam. The Purva Pakshi is not just emphasizing staying at home, which we have also said is all right, but that being a karmi. Who is a karmi? Who not only does karma, but harbors, this is most important, harbors thoughts about, I have done this and that benefit will come to me, my stature will improve. Just like when we invest in stocks and shares. And some of our shares where we invested are doing so well. We are happy. So that psychological process, when the shares are doing well, we feel we are rising. And when the market crashes, we feel we are sinking, right? That cannot go with moksha prasanga, the context of moksha. Nacha grahastasya nirashihi. You know, the word nirashi is sometimes translated as hopeless. Somebody read a translation in English of Bhagavad Geetā, and the word said, Arjuna, be hopeless. And reader was shocked. In fact, it's misleading translation. They should carefully translate. Let go of your hope. Maybe they should put in bracket. That is living in future. Be in the present. Like once I was at some holy place, Haridwar or somewhere, long back, with my limited Hindi at that time. My eyes fell on one book which was for sale. You know, there was one Bhagavad Geetā, Sarth. Sarth means with meanings. And to my shock, there was another book, Bhagavad Geetā Artharahit. It was printed like that. That translation also was highly misleading. What the translator meant was, this is only Mool Shlok. There is no meanings given in this publication. But if you write Artharahit, Geetā Artharahit, Geetā is meaningless, it could be misleading. So Nirashihi, to say it means hopeless is not wrong. But what is meant is, hope, if you go deeper into it, is where you identify your personality. You hope for better conditions, better wealth, better health, and 100 things. That is hope. In Atmanishta, you let go of those thoughts about future. You are totally, call it being in the present or call it being the awareness. Aparigraha, having no possessions. These things don't go well with the psychological identification with the grahastha. Uभयव prashna anupapattescha. And therefore, or not therefore, cha is there. In addition, that whole idea of you are lost here and you are lost there would not apply if it were to be about karma. Karma definitely gives you the benefits. Last paragraph in the Shānkara Bhāshya for this session, the Purva Pakshi raises one more doubt. Anashritaha ityanena karminaha eva sannyasitvam yogitvancha uktam. Pratisiddhancha niragnehe akriyasya cha sannyasitvam yogitvancha iti chet. You see, the very first shloka in chapter 6 says, It's a very beautiful shloka, very inspirational, can give great clarity to us when we are in conflict. Anashrita karma phalam karyam karma karoti yaha. Sa sannyasi cha yogi cha na niragnir na chakriya. That shloka is so terrific, so powerful. Once somewhere I read, maybe in connection with M.K. Gandhi or something like that, that when you are in sorrow, you are in conflict, you are in doubt, just open the Bhagavad Gita, read any shloka that meets with your eyes, you will find the solution. I was curious, you know. Same day, I took Gita and just opened it. And my eyes fell on this Anashrita Karma Phala. At least in that case, I won't say that will happen every time. But that day I said, let me think about this. And that shloka, Anashrita Karma Phalam, not even the whole shloka, the first quarter. Pratamaha Padaha, Anashrita Karma Phalam. Don't, for heaven's sake, depend on what you get in life. Pay attention to what you may give. That's the meaning we have studied. It indeed gave so much peace. It indeed gave me so much solace. I closed the book and said, true. If I have this outlook, let me not worry about results, what people said about me, are saying about me, or will say about me. All that is karma phala. What you got, what you are getting, what you will get. That is my definition of karma phala. So, the reference here in the Purva Pakshi's question is Karminaha eva sannyasitvam. So the shloka talks about doing karma but not being dependent upon result. Because ashrita means dependent. Anashrita means not dependent. So Sri Krishna is talking about doing karma. And moreover, in the second half of the shloka, Sri Krishna says, we don't call that person a sannyasi who doesn't light up fire. Because the formal sannyasi doesn't cook. The formal sannyasi lives on bhiksha. The formal sannyasi does not keep a oven. Doesn't cook, doesn't keep an oven, doesn't run a kitchen. So, Sri Krishna in a very revolutionary statement says, they are not sannyasis. Sannyasis are those who do karma but do not depend on the fruit. So, Purapakshi is dancing with joy. I wanted to hear this only. And also Sri Krishna says in that very first shloka, Na akriyaha. Somebody who has given up karma is not sannyasi. Sannyasi is he who doesn't depend on the fruit. So in plain language, the shloka actually dismisses the formal sannyasa, walking away from karma, walking away from the kitchen, etc. Purapakshi argues like that. Shankaracharya, playing the role of Siddhanti now, says, Na dhyana yogam prati bahirangasya sataha karmanaha palakanksha sannyasa palakanksha sannyasa stuti paratvat. So, yes, the grammar here is slightly. This first shloka of the 6th chapter, Sri Krishna praised letting go of one's attachment to fruits. It is in that context, it is to praise this phalatyaga in a very powerful manner. You want to praise a young man in a town who in some particular situation, let's say, showed leadership qualities. You may say, I adore you more than Prime Minister Modi. No, it's not that this fellow is as capable as Prime Minister Modi, but you are very impressed with his work in a certain small village project. So you may say that you seem to be better. One day you will be a much acclaimed leader, maybe better than Modi. You may say all that. That is not to be taken literally. Here too, sannyasa stuti paratvat. Palakanksha sannyas. In fact, the grammar will be fit if you take it as a single word. Palakanksha sannyasa stuti paratvat. This Falakanksha is to be given up, and that is being praised. Falakanksha Sannyasa Stuti. Take it as a single compound word. With this eagerness to praise, letting go of attachment to results, it was said by Sri Krishna in the first shloka, which we are yet to study, that that person is the best sannyasi. That person is the best yogi. But it is not to be literally taken, because karma phala sangam sanyasya karma yoga manutishtan sattva shuddhyartam sa sannyasi cha yogi cha bhavati iti stuyate. Stuyate, stutihi kriyate. The person in question is praised for, while doing actions, generally 999 out of 1000 people while doing actions get attached to the action and begin to look for results. Show one person in this world who doesn't feel happy when he is praised for what work he has done, even if it is social service, even if it is supposed to be nishkama karma. Somebody praises him, you are the most selfless person I have seen. The person feels happy. That itself is sign of falakangsha. He was waiting for some praise. He was happy. And if you criticize him, all this is escapism. You better close down all this social service and look after your family better. Suppose you advise like that, the person in question will feel bad. But suppose 1 in 1,000, 1 in 1,000,000 smiles and says, "Thank you for saying that," and really is unmoved by criticism and does not swell with pride upon hearing praise, then that is like sannyasa. But then what is real sannyasa if this was only for praising sake? Real sannyasa is, I quoted in the beginning of the lecture, sannyaso nirmalam jnanam. One does not think of oneself anymore as a doer. Then, nacha ekena vakyena karma phalasanga sannyasa stutihi chaturthashrama pratishedascha upapadyate. So where karma phala asanga sannyasa, the letting go of attachment to fruit is talked, there is chaturthashrama pratisheda is not the focus. That is secondary. That is gauna. So it may seem, the first shloka may seem as though the teacher, Sri Krishna, has once for all declared, no sannyas is necessary anymore. All of you keep doing karma, but just let go of attachment. Just as in my humorous example, that printed book in Haridwar, said, "Read Bhagavad Geetā Artha Rahit." So it may seem this is a meaningless Bhagavad Gita. No. What is meant is the meanings in Hindi or English or Kannada are not given there, right? So here too, there is no literal Chaturthashrama Pratisheda. Literally, the Chaturthashrama Sannyasa is not dismissed here, but in this context, it is put behind, it is put in the backbench, because the focus is to praise karma phala asakti tyaga. On the day of reception, the bride and bridegroom are put on a stage. All of your whole crowd goes, gives them gifts or gives them greetings, best wishes, pose with them for photograph, everything happens. Do you think they will do it every day or one day before? No. Just as it is in that context. Don't drag it out of context. I was present in front of my eyes. Even the member of parliament went up the stage and greeted the young couple. And I think that young couple have become more powerful than the member of parliament. No, no, no. It is, I need not explain more. So Shankaracharya draws our attention to the context. न च प्रसिद्धं निरग्नेः अक्रियस्य परमार्थ सन्यासिनः श्रुति स्मृति पुराण इतिहास योग शास्त्रेषु विहितं सन्यासित्वं योगित्वं च प्रतिषेधति भगवान्. The न has to be connected. Bhagavan na pratishedat. No way Bhagavan would dismiss or talk against or say it's not necessary to take Paramartha Sannyasa, to go for Paramartha Sannyasa. Paramartha Sannyasa is definitely way above all this contextual greatness. Like I said, the young man in a village might have done something spectacular in a certain project. He almost was ready to die. So he is honored. But being a prime minister for 5 years, 10 years, etc., and handling numerous projects, etc., is a totally different game. But that day, you are so impressed with that young man's, qualities. So you praise him, right? Swavachana virodhacha. Now the part ends with some quotations. Sri Krishna himself has said, Sarva karmani manasa sanyasya in the previous chapter. Then in the 12th chapter, he is going to say, Mauni santushto yena kyenachit. Happy with whatever. A grahastha is not happy with whatever. Typical grahastha. Some very advanced grahastha on the verge of sannyas, outer or inner, may be so. You may say, I have met somebody, who though with family and everything, is so nirvikar. One rare case. But Grahastha you make a case for Grahastha, you emphasize Grahastha, you say Grahastha is never to be given up. Till the last breath you must keep doing karma and such things, you are going overboard. Shankara gives even second chapter. The idea is entire Gita. Vihaya kamanya sarvan and so on. Sarvaramba parityagi. For giving up, parityaga, vihaya, giving up desire, letting go of desires. Tatra tatra bhagavata svavachanani darshitani. God's own words have said. Taihi viruddhyeta chaturtashrama pratishedaha. If anybody misunderstood the first sloka of chapter 6 as making a case for dismissing sannyasa, chaturtashrama pratisheda, no need. There is no need to take sannyasa and so on. Viruddhyeta. Such a understanding will go contrary to a number of Sri Krishna statements. Therefore, summarily, tasmad munehe yogam arurukshoho pratipanna garhastyasya agnihotradi karmaphala nirapeksham anushtiyamanam dhyana yoga arohana sadhanatvam sattva-shuddhi dwarena pratipadyate iti sasannyasi cha yogi cha iti stuyate. It's only stuyate is being praised for someone who has come quite a long way. He is praised. You are doing karma, but you are letting go of any desire for its results. Wonderful. You are good sannyas. You are a good yogi. So it is praised. But to be literally a sannyasi and yogi, you must be totally free of identification born of spiritual ignorance. So we have said much about the first shloka anyhow. This commentary talked about this shloka only. So we will just read it once. Shri Bhagavan Vacha अनाश्रितः कर्म फलम् कार्यं कर्म करोति यः स सन्न्यासी च योगी च न निरग्निर्न चाक्रियः. Next class we will take up the shlokas themselves. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Shri Ramachandra Swamine Namaha.